guys?
Not
Not
much.
much.
Yeah, same here. It's just cold. It's like freaking frigid.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest it's gotten over by me is like -4.
That's
Hmm.
crazy. I feel like we've gotten only to like, I think the lowest I've seen is like 6 or 7.
I think we're supposed to get below below zero tonight. I think someone said like -5 to -10, but then it's supposed to warm back up.
Dang.
Yeah. It's been like this at least for me like for the past 3 days. So I think tomorrow it's supposed to actually warm up and I'm like really I'm like looking forward to it. The sun was out too today and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, thank goodness." Like the rays are actually starting to warm things up a little bit. And it was like it got to maybe like 15 or something and I was like, "Oh wow, sweet Jesus warmth. I can't believe it." Double digits.
It's so weird because like I feel like this is what it used to be like all the time. Like this is
Mhm.
what winters always used to be, but this is the first time we've had a proper like ups upstate northeastern winter in a while.
Yeah, even here, I was just saying, I feel like it's the longest I've seen snow stay on the ground. Like, it doesn't snow very
Hmm.
often here, but usually it melts right away. And, like, because it's been cold, it's like just, it's been like a week or two maybe where there's just been snow on the ground, which is crazy for Virginia, I feel like.
Yeah. And all of the pictures of like Florida and Texas and all those guys getting like inches of snow, that's crazy. I've never seen that before.
I know places like that just kind of like shut down because it just like it's not built for any kind of snow.
Hmm.
Or even the cold, like, even here, they shut down schools like yesterday or something. And it was just
Mm.
like there was no new snow. It was just cold and they just I don't know why they did it because I was like, why? Like it's just super cold. And they were like, yeah, no school.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking about it for some of the people like way more south than us. Is like probably don't even have a lot of the clothes that you would need. Like here, it's not that
True.
much of an issue because I can throw on like some thermal layers and a fleece, and I'll be like, I'm fine. I walked around all day in it, but uh, yeah, I was like, I probably don't have anything heavier than like maybe a coat.
Yeah, and probably not even a good one, you know? Like I have a
Hmm.
coat that I used at school in Michigan that I never use here. Like I just it's in the
Yeah.
closet because went to school in Michigan, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've a couple friends who moved down to North Carolina from upstate New York, and every time we go visit them, it's like it'll be like maybe I don't know, I want to say like 50, and one of them will just like wear like a jacket, like a jacket that you would wear here in upstate New York, maybe like
Hmm.
I don't know, I don't know. It just have to be way colder here. And I'm just like, damn, you're like you've really like adapted to the North Carolina weather. She's like, yeah, shit's cold now. Like I can't go back. But they moved. I know one of the biggest reasons was like the snow. Like it just pissed them off. So they're just like, we gotta leave.
Yeah. When we went to Egypt a couple years ago, the like tourism season for them is their winter
Mm,
because in the summer it's just like way too hot. Nobody's doing anything outdoors. Like it's honestly just like a lot of the time not really safe to be outdoors for very long, so you're not going to be super touristy. And we were there in January and they kept apologizing to us, like our tour guides and stuff. They're like, "We're so sorry that you're seeing it in this like frigid weather." And they're all like bundled up in coats and like scarves and jackets and it's like 45 degrees, 50
mm.
degrees. Like in the during the day it's like 60, almost 70 and we're like it's like 10 degrees back home. Like we're in t-shirts and shorts like walking around and they're like not just bundled up but like teeth chattering levels of cold and we're like, "Are you guys okay? Like this is fine. There's nothing wrong here." But they just kept apologizing. They're like, "This is awful weather. We're so sorry you're here." It's like this is lovely.
Yeah, I always wonder like what makes people prefer one or the other because like I grew up in Michigan and it was cold and I don't mind. Like I like the cold, but a lot of people I did grow up with also hate it and would like rather move somewhere warm. And I always thought it was just what you grew up with, but it feels like people just somehow have their preferences. And I would miss the snow if I went somewhere it didn't snow much. So
Yeah. I don't like being hot.
Yeah.
I'm miserable. Like in the summer, if we get a hot streak, I hate it. It's the worst. I'd rather this temperature.
Yeah,
Same.
I would agree. Like, because there's only so much you can take off, and then you're like, well, I have no more layers. What am I supposed to do now? But you can always bundle up as much as you can, like as whatever with whatever,
Yeah.
clothes, jackets, blankets, whatever. But yeah, like I think being hot is way more uncomfortable for me than being cold. Like, yeah, for sure. I think it's much more manageable.
Yeah.
I always feel way too tired too. Like when it's
Mm.
cold, I feel like alive. Like I'm a little in danger, but like I'm alive. And when it's hot, I'm like, I'm just dead. I could like fall asleep right now and die.
Yeah. Yeah, I just signed up with like the state parks department to volunteer on some weekends the like next coming months, and it's all going to be outdoors, like trekking around on slopes and being out in the cold, and I'm like pumped for it. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to being outdoors. But they've also asked me before, they're like, "Do you want to work with us over the summer?" And I'm like, "Not really. No.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'll stay inside."
Yeah.
And it's the best when you get outside and cold, and then you come inside and you warm up, you take off all your layers, and you get hot
Mhm.
cocoa. It just makes it all so rewarding, you know?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I agree.
I do like sweaters. Like, I love me a good sweater.
Or a
Mhm.
blanket. It's
Hmm.
great.
Yep. Even just here at home, like for some reason our heater wasn't like fully kicking on over the weekend.
Mm.
Hmm.
It was at like 63 and we usually keep it at like 68 in the house, and it wasn't getting to that heat for some reason. And God, it was kind of nice. Like we just bundled up and had a bunch of blankets out, and I was like, well, I hope it's not broken. Like we'll deal with this in a day or two if there's a problem, but
Hmm.
for now it's just like kind of cozy.
Hmm. I know some people will tell me like, oh, if you go to this place in the summertime, it's not that bad. It's like dry heat. And I'm like, nah, man. If it's hot, it's hot. Like,
Mhm.
if it's humid, it's gross. Like, then I feel extra gross. If it's dry heat, I'm just still hot. So like either way, I'm uncomfortable. So I like fall and winter better than, well, spring is okay, but summer for sure no. Unless I'm like near a body of water by the ocean. I don't
Mm.
really do too much like swimming in the ocean, but I'll be there for like the ocean breeze and stuff. Like that's fine. But other than that, nah, I'm okay. Keep me out of the sun.
We this last weekend we took a road trip. We went out to Connecticut. Um, because out there in New Haven, where like on the Yale campus, they have this really cool natural history museum, and they've been closed for a couple of years now. They've been remodeling, and they did like this huge overhaul of everything, and it's just like a really cool museum these days. We went with a friend who's like a huge dinosaur nerd, so it was like having a personal tour guide as we went from each fossil to eat like each one. It took us like 20 minutes to get through like a single stand of things, because he'd be like, "Oh, do you know about this dinosaur, blah blah blah," and be able to like tell us all of these facts and some of the drama. And back in the days, like the peak of the like archaeology days, there was something called the Bone Wars. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this.
No.
Have
I'm
not.
gonna I
Sounds
feel like
sick though.
it sounds so much cooler than it actually is.
Oh,
um
the Bone Wars.
it sounds dope as hell. What it really is these two archaeologists just like they had beef with each other, and they just like were on a race to name more dinosaurs than the other one.
Stop.
I'm not kidding.
That's hilarious.
It's so good. Here, I pulled up the Wikipedia because like I don't remember all of the details, but it's still like the funniest thing. We were like at a bar and having a couple of drinks, and our friend is telling us this story, and we're like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That like most of the archaeological discoveries we have, like a majority of them, were named by these two dudes."
Wait, were they digging them
Um,
up? Like, how did they get to name it?
yeah, I think they
They
were
dug it
overseeing
up?
dig sites. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Oh my god, what
Um,
a mission. How long did this last? Like, what was the time frame?
like 15 years. One of the guys, Marsh, is the guy who like founded the museum that we went to. So that was a big part of why we even went there, is because he told us about it last year when we went to a different museum. Uh, and he worked to found the museum that we went to, the Peabody. Uh, but now they own the collection of the other guy. Yeah, Marsh and Cope. So now the museum has like both of their stuff, and one of them, I think Marsh is more well known than the other one, but I could be wrong. But the description here is like pretty good. So the Bone Wars, also known as the Great Dinosaur Rush, was a period of an intense and ruthlessly competitive fossil hunting and discovery during the Gilded Age of American history, marked by a heated rivalry between Cope and Yale. Each of the two paleontologists used underhanded methods to try to outdo the other in the field, resorting to bribery, theft, and destruction of bones.
What?
And then they both were trying to like ruin the other one's reputation, and so they'd like steal shit, they'd like slander them. It's just like this really dramatic era that is like not really well known, but these two dudes did most of the like paleontology that we know now.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Pretty good. I think they like one of them drove themselves like to like poverty because of it, I think. Um,
Gosh.
yeah, they led to 136 new species of dinosaurs being discovered. They both opened their own museums. Oh, so we actually went to both of them. I forgot that. So last year we went to Philadelphia. We went to the Academy of Natural Sciences. So that was the one that Cope opened. And then Marsh opened the Peabody Museum of Natural History. So that was the one we just went to this last weekend.
Wow.
But yeah, crazy, crazy drama.
Yeah, they're waking up with a purpose for like 15 years. They're like, I gotta get up and I gotta get up early. I gotta get out there, or else fucking Marsh is gonna get all these fucking dinosaur names. I gotta beat him.
God. Yeah, literally. That's literally what it was.
Did they have wives? Like, did they have families?
Hang on, let me find out.
Because I feel bad for their families. They've probably never heard the end of the dinosaur talk.
Dad, will you play with me? Not now, son.
No, I don't have
Cope's
time
out
for
there,
that.
and I just heard that Cope discovered something new. I have to go out there. I'll see you in like a month or so. I can't be here right now. Go play with your mother.
Yeah, so Cope was married and had one child. Um, it looks like Marsh was single. So yeah, I think you might
Oh.
be spot on. I think one of them was out there and the other one was ignoring his child. But yeah, there's nothing like going to a museum and of like afterwards over a couple of drinks, just having your friend lean in and be like, "Do you guys know about the Bone Wars, right?" Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So good.
The Bone Wars.
Hmm.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's something else. But then once you hear like what it is, you're like, oh no, this is just funny now. Like, I love it. I still
It's
like it a lot.
just two nerds who got beef with each other. But I was gonna ask if have you guys been to any like museums lately or any uh was museums or like an art place? An art place? What are those called? What am I
That's not a museum, too? An art museum?
museum. I thought there was a word for it for a second, but I think you're right. Yeah.
You know, those art places.
Art places, yeah.
No, I mean, when's the last one I've been to? There's like a million here, you know, outside of DC or in
Hmm.
DC, but I don't even remember. I've been to a handful, like of the ones in DC, I've been to probably half, but not recently.
Those are good ones.
I do like the art ones, though, I think. We did do like the, you know, the ones with the bones in it, but I feel like you do a loop and then you're like, yeah, those are bones. Like you do it once and you're like, yeah, I've seen animal bones.
Yeah.
Yep, those are bones. I haven't been to too many museums, but I'd like to go to more. I can't even tell you the last one I've been to, but I really now that like you brought that up, I'm just like I should go find some museums to go check out because I feel like there's a lot that I really just have no idea, and then I'll learn about once I go to a museum.
It's such a
Pretty
good
fun.
cold weather thing to do too, because it's all
Hmm.
inside.
Hmm.
It's pretty smart.
Especially up here too. So that's why we did it again this year. So last year we went to Philadelphia and It's a pretty big museum. We were expecting it to be fair. Like, that's obviously a major city. We were expecting it to be busy, but we caught it when all the colleges were on break, and then it was cold, so no one's coming to the Northeast as a tourist in January. We got like a hotel room literally in the middle of Philly, like downtown Philly, for like $200 for the weekend. Like, it was wicked cheap. We could walk everywhere. It wasn't that cold compared to what we were used to. Um, so we're kind of trying to make it like a tradition. We're now in the cold weather, we take a road trip as long as it'll get snowed in somewhere because it's cheap, not that busy. This one was a little more busy because it's free to the public, and I think there's a lot of people like families, so there's a ton of kids there, but it was still overall like not that busy. It was fun. It was a good way to spend the weekend.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. Also, because I think there's trains that will go to Philadelphia from Matt. If I'm getting it
Oh
right,
yeah.
I get a lot of the Northeast cities really confused. But I'm pretty sure there's trains
Um,
that would go there.
Probably. I bet you it's on the Amtrak line.
Yeah, because I don't go to enough of the. I said when I moved out here, like outside of Washington, I would go to more of these northeastern cities, but I just haven't really gone to any. Like Boston, although that one's probably the farthest away.
You've got to have something to do though. It's kind of hard to just like go to a city and wander around. You've got to have like one distinct destination, and then you can do other stuff as well. But I find that's the easiest
Yeah,
way to travel.
that's smart though. Yeah, like I could come up with stuff. I feel like you just Google like beep, 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 what to
Yeah,
do in the
you're
city.
walking around and you'll see things, but you've got to have like one destination in mind to start with.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So, this is kind of a pivot, but there's this YouTube short. Um, it's about it's about Waffle House's training videos.
What
So
the fuck is that?
I think the thumbnail's just for laughs, but I guess Waffle House has this whole system about like how to make people's orders, and it's like, hey, put this slice of cheese to the right of the plate. That's how you know that this person wants lettuce or something like that. But you can go ahead and watch that, and then we can reconvene.
I also feel like we noted that the person posting it, his username is Papa Meat.
Oh yeah, love that guy. Love that guy. He's amazing. He's so funny.
The customer gets one slice of cheese for each egg. To make this a triple scramble cheese, you add the mustard pack below the jelly pack to make it a triple and add a third slice of cheese. You also want to tear off a small corner of the cheese and place it on the top of the marker to help you remember that it comes with cheese.
That's crazy.
It's
Jesus.
so crazy. Why do they have that system?
It's magic.
The cheese is crazy. Just like not only okay, like 3 slices of cheese for each egg, that makes sense. But tear off a tiny piece for what? Like why is it getting so intricate?
So for the listeners, it's called the magic marker system, and this is what Waffle House allegedly. Well, I don't know. It seems like this is straight from their training video, but this is the system that they use in order to be like, yeah, this person wants a triple scrambled egg or like 3 scrambled eggs instead of 2 or something like that. I'm like, or just put that on the ticket.
Yeah,
Just
I mean
put
that's
three.
like the guy says, it's just like it's not that complicated of a ticket. Waffle House's menu, not that big. It's pretty basic.
I've never been to a Waffle House, but like once I started seeing this video, I was like, I had to look up the menu, and then yeah, just like you said, I was like, why is this so? What? Why is this system in place?
It's a
The
diner.
hell? Yeah.
Also, most people who go to I bet you most people who go to Waffle House either are way too stoned to notice what their server's doing, or also it's the middle of the night. You're going to a Waffle House because it's the only thing open.
For real.
I don't need my mind blown by magic when I'm just waiting for some scrambled eggs at 2 a.m.
Seriously. Like, do they not write down the orders? Like, is that the like assumption then? Like, oh, you're gonna do all this because you didn't write it down,
I
and
feel like
this,
they still have to write it down. That's so crazy though that they
because
have to add this extra work in.
Yeah, because like you write it down at the table, and then you walk
Yeah.
back there, and then you'd start assembling your weird plate thing
They're
Because I
not
feel
going to
like
see the slices of cheese. Like, you're not
yeah.
doing that. You're not coming out to the table to take their order with a
with.
stack of plates, piles of cheese, and like random sauce packets.
You're like, okay, so how many eggs? Hold on, you're like counting the cheese.
Why is there cheese on my plate? I asked for eggs.
I'm just like imagining someone new starting there and they're just like there's just cheese slices everywhere. Just like, oh god. Where do I have to put the cheese to signify that this person wants 3 eggs instead of 2? Uh-oh, what do we do now? And then like what if they don't even what if there's no cheese on their actual order? Like, could you
Yeah.
imagine?
It also seems super easy to fuck up. Like, it's so complicated in those little details. Like, you're just gonna give someone completely the wrong order when you could have just written down like omelet and fries.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I saw that recently and it kind of made me think of like I think we talked about I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast before, but I think we at least shared it with each other. Someone posted in here about like um was it the McDonald's?
Oh
The
yeah.
McDonald's training video or something like that and they had some imaginary person that was like McSee? Was that what it was? It was
Oh
like their
yeah.
character was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm McSee" or something like that, or like, "I feel like McSee now."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the McDonald's custodial training video.
Okay, that's what it was, and
I
that's
think
what
you're
it
right.
reminded me of. And I was like, "Oh god, it's like that training video," and I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's.
Well, I think it all just stems from that crazy like your coworkers are family, like your family here bullshit where it's like trying to get you to buy into why you care about training. It's like, dude, if I'm working at Waffle House, I'm not there for the culture. Like,
For
just
real.
teach me how to grill a burger and let me go home.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Waffle House, but it's kind of making me want breakfast food. Or like I feel like a similar what's a similar one like Denny's? Yeah, like
Denny's.
Denny's.
I feel like I
It's
could eat breakfast like any meal of the day.
mhm.
I never make it for myself. Like I don't like making myself breakfast food, but I love going out and like ordering it. Like I could buy a breakfast, especially at night. It feels extra special at night.
Breakfast for dinner.
Yeah. But
I
I
do
maybe I
pancakes for dinner pretty often.
do you really?
Mhm.
Dang.
Yeah, just a nice, easy, kind of lazy dinner. Especially, I think it's more of a German thing, but Ben picked it up from, um, like traveling over there a couple times, and he did a semester abroad over there. It's not quite like a pancake. It's kind of thinner than a pancake, but we just make them regular here, with applesauce, and you just dip them in applesauce.
Hmm.
It's actually really good. It's one of those like you don't think about it, but especially on a lazy night, really tasty.
That sounds delicious. I forgot
Mhm.
about applesauce. I feel like I haven't known when the last time I bought or ate that, but that stuff is so good.
Oh, I feel like it's probably harder to forget up here. We're an apple country. We make applesauce every year.
That's wild. I remember somebody I as soon as I said applesauce too, I remember like I have a weird childhood memory of like going to a friend's like family friend's house. And I think they were like childless adults, which they always scared me as kids. Childless adults scared me as a kid because I was like, these people hate me. But like they were like making applesauce and they were like putting us to work like the whole day. We never got to like play. They were like, come do this, come. And I think they thought it was fun, but I just saw it as a chore. But they were like making homemade applesauce. And that was like my first word association with the word applesauce. I was like,
Childless adults.
those scary people.
Well, when it's not a chore, it's kind of nice. Although I say that, and Ben is the one who does most of the work for the applesauce. But the payoff's worth it.
Yeah, eating some fresh applesauce sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So are you guys planning to see that what is the title of that A24 movie we were talking about?
Oh,
Opus?
oh, that sounds right. Yeah, I love uh I love Ava Edibiri. I think she's great. It does kind of like was it Riley that says yeah A24 is really going hard on like all the cult stuff, but I don't know. I feel like they've been pretty good. The vibe of this one seems pretty decent too.
Yeah. Is it out already? I didn't actually check because I'll
I think this is
definitely
March.
March. Okay. I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, March 14th. Dang, March is gonna be a good month for movies.
Was there any that came out already, like in January? Like I thought there was one we were talking about. I don't remember now though.
I want to say Presents came out, and I was planning to go see it last weekend, but I didn't end up doing that.
Presents.
Or maybe it's this coming weekend that it's gonna come out. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's coming out in January, but
I see Showtime's for tomorrow.
okay, so I guess it's out already. And I don't know. I haven't heard anyone say any. I haven't heard much about it, so I don't know if people like it or not.
I don't know. Yeah, I also haven't heard anything. You might be right. Maybe it comes out Thursday as the weekend, maybe. Um, I have been hearing. I'm pretty excited. I think I'm probably not going to watch until the full season is out, but I think the first episode of season 2 of Severance just came out, and I've been already hearing really good things. I'm pretty excited.
I didn't know that Ben Stiller directs that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think I saw a reel where it was like him. They were doing some kind of, I don't know, pop
Oh,
up
they did the thing at the
something.
Grand Central Station. Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone was like, "Look at Ben Stiller recording it like a proud dad," and I was just like, "Oh, is he attached to this?" And then I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
my god, he's the director! That's so cool."
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Have you guys watched season 1?
Mm.
No,
Oh,
that's what
it's really good. I would highly recommend it.
I feel like at work, every time we go to work and talk at lunch, everyone's just recommending like all the shows. So like that one, I think there's another one that they recommended, or even like the Squid Games, which obviously the season 2 just came out. So I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah. No, it's quite. I just feel like there's not a lot of like sci-fi thrillers that come out that really like capture me. Like I tried watching, I think I talked about this last time we recorded. I started watching Silo a couple weeks ago, and then I got like I did the same thing I did with it with that I did with Walking Dead, where I got like really invested in like a subplot, and then that subplot resolved, and I just have not gone back to it and watched anything else. Like I'm just it's fine. This is a fine show. Um but Severance was really good. Like the through plot is super compelling, and I just feel like the acting is just like really top notch. So I'm pretty excited for season 2, but I think I'll probably wait till the whole thing comes out because I know myself well enough that if I watch 1 or 2 episodes from season 2, I'll just probably just forget to go back.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta binge stuff. Like when I watch it, like seasons of shows, I gotta binge them. Like if they're
Yeah,
not all out at the same time, then I'm gonna wait until that last episode's out. Then I'll just start it.
yeah. I'm really bad about that. I have to. If I don't, I'll never watch the whole thing.
Good thing that you ended with, or like that happened the way that it did with The Walking Dead for you, because I tried watching all of it and I got to like, God, I got to like an unbearable season where it was just like, what is even happening anymore? Like it started off on The Walking Dead seasons 1 through 3, amazing, wonderful, fantastic. Can't say anything better about it. And then like they just start, ooh, it's like 4 and 5. You're starting to feel like the, ooh, we're money grabbing now. Like
Yeah.
we're just putting episodes out there because 1 through 3 was so successful, and now we're
Hmm.
just trying to replicate that same thing. And I think I got to like, I want to say like season 8 or 9, and I was like,
Oof.
I don't want to do this anymore. I, I can just stop, and so I did. So I was like, it's not worth it. I don't know how they made as many seasons as they did of that show.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this before. I would say I had a coworker at the time that it was coming out that was like obsessed with it, and she really liked that I didn't watch it because then she could just tell me everything about it Like every time a new episode would come out, she'd be like, "Are you sure you don't want to watch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't. I'm good." And she'd be like, "Great." And then she'd give me like a play-by-play of the episode so that she could spoil whatever she wanted. Um, but yeah, it started at one point, and all I got invested in was Rick getting reunited with his son, and that
Mm.
happens in like episode 2.
Yeah.
So
Literally,
early
I
on.
watched the second episode and I was like, "All right, I'm done." And I literally just like closed it and I was like, "I'm good. I don't need to watch anymore." Couldn't give less of a shit about the zombies. I don't know why. That just like didn't get me at all. But hey, see, it saved me 8 seasons. So,
Yeah.
but that was definitely the worst of it. I've done it with other shows, but that's definitely like a record I think for me on just giving up on something.
Yeah, I gotta watch Squid Game season 2. I really like the first one, but I was kind of like skeptical when they announced the second season because I was like, ooh, it was fine where it ended. So I'm like, is this a money grabber too? Like, but people are, I don't know, from what I heard, people say it's pretty good. So I'll probably watch that at some point.
Yeah, when you're saying sci-fi, and even kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead somehow, but I was thinking about Westworld. I feel like I watched a season or two of. Did you like that one? Either of you watch that one back in the day?
I
I've heard
watched
of it.
season 1. I think I watched season 1 like as it came out. I don't think
Mm-hmm. Same.
I think I heard that season 2 had started and everyone was like, "It's not good. Don't watch it." And so I deliberately like just watched season 1 as its own thing and then stopped at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought season 1 was great. I really liked it. So I was disappointed to hear that the rest of it wasn't good, but
Yeah, I think that one. I think most TV shows are like that though, where they just kind of fall off after a while.
yeah.
Oh,
I
there's
don't
only
think
4
there's
seasons, huh? For some reason, I
yeah.
Yeah,
thought it was like long.
it fell off pretty quick, I think.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So
No, it
it
went from
felt
like
long.
Oh, I see.
yeah, I think season 2 like it tanked immediately because like season 1 was so
Oh,
strong that people were
damn.
thrilled for 2 and then it was like trash and everyone just gave up and then I think 3 maybe they got lucky and were able to sign on for a couple of extra seasons, but by 3 I think most people had stopped watching.
Damn. That's really early. Like normally when I hear that I don't know, 3 or 4 if they're trying to do,
Hmm.
like push out as many seasons as they can, but I never heard of like by 2. They're like, "Oh god, nails in the coffin."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was actually the first thing that came to mind too, Riley, when you said I don't know we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, Westworld, that was a good one. It was a strong one. A good world building, but nah.
Yeah, someone was asking like what's if I had a favorite TV show, and I feel like I really don't get that attached to many of them. Like the good ones like that, like Westworld or like any of them. And I think that's why I don't go like watch the ones that I hear of that are good. I don't know why
Yeah.
though.
Have you guys seen like Black Mirror? I've heard kind of like mixed on that, but I don't know. It's been on my list forever, but I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it.
You,
It's one of those like, yeah, I know it's there, but like I'll get to it eventually.
s- so you haven't neither of you have seen any Black Mirrors?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy because that was so big when I was in college. There's one episode that's literally like I don't think I've seen all of them, but I've seen like a good chunk. There's one
I
episode that's
think
like
I've seen the
it'll
first.
stay
I've
with
seen the
you.
first one.
Okay, it's probably that one.
So
Does
the
it
one where
stay
he
with
fucks the
you?
pig.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. That one
Yeah, I
just
watched
like
it. I don't know why I watched the first episode, but I did.
yeah. I feel like not many of them are better than that. Not, I mean, like some of them are way more pleasant to watch and more interesting, but that one just like that changes your life, I feel like.
I will say, I mean, people really hyped it up as like super upsetting. I thought that the montage of like all of the people's faces of disgust was so funny.
Oh yeah, it's a very funny like I feel like that I mean the show I don't know, I guess episode to episode is pretty different, but I think that episode in general is funny, but
Yeah.
it's disturbing if you're because it's so like it's funny concept, but then like they play it out so seriously like it's
Yeah.
happening in real life, and then you're like forced to imagine if that happened in real life, and you're just like, oh my god, that's crazy.
I don't remember all the details, Melody, but I think the basic premise of the first episode is that like it's like the prime minister of uh the UK is, I think he's blackmailed,
Yeah.
or the country's threatened, something in that realm where they're like, you have to fuck a pig on live television, and like this is going to be broadcasted to the whole country, and whatever it is like enough to make him do it. And so like there's a lot of build up into like him trying to kind of get out of it, and then the
Mm.
afterwards and all that stuff. But there's like 5 minutes in the middle of just like showing people's faces while they're like in a pub or like in their house, and just the like disgust of everyone's faces, which is I think part of the reason people got super super into it at one point, because that's a very strong first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And just the episodic things I think are nice, like when they're not related to each other. Because like I said, I didn't see all of the seasons, but you can just go in and watch whatever one you want.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't
There's.
had a lot of other things that got that big that were like short stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to like kind of jump in. And it's not. It's like less. It's like less commitment in a way. So you're not gonna jump into like season 4 of like Breaking Bad or something like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
although
Mhm.
Breaking Bad is one of my favorite TV shows, but like I think that's like one of the examples of a show just kind of like, all right, we have a plan to stop at this season. We're gonna stop at
Yeah.
the season, and we did. Like there's no, hey, it was very successful. Yes, I don't care. Like everyone on the production team, writers, directors, everyone, even the actors were just like, let's not. I mean,
Yep.
I know they had that movie, but like that was it. Like I think it was outside of the TV show, they were just like, we're not gonna try to extend this as for, because I think I've seen that. I just, it's like all TV shows really. Like it's really, you're hard pressed to find a TV show where they're just like, this is a good stopping point. We're gonna stand by this no
Hmm.
matter what. I don't care how much money this makes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always, I feel like, even if the first couple of episodes are kind of lackluster, I feel like it's always very promising if you see an interview and they're like, nope, I've got like, this is what I've got in mind. This, I know how it ends, like 2 seasons and I'm done. It's like, even if it's kind of a middling show, I still feel like I'm more likely to watch it just because I like know that I'll be able to finish it.
Yeah.
I feel like the opposite of that is like Lost. I'm watching Lost, which I watched when I like came out, but I don't think I ever finished it, so I don't actually know what the ending of Lost is. But I feel like that's a classic. Like it just kept going because it was so popular, and everyone was like, "Do you know what you're doing?" And the writers were like, "Hee, maybe."
You'll find out. Yeah, it's not in the style of any of the things we've talked about on here before, but like one of my all-time favorite shows is Fleabag. And that's just a mini series. It's 2 seasons. I think it's 16 episodes, maybe not even. It might be maybe it's 12. Either way, they're short seasons and it's just two. Um I just love it. Like it's my favorite. I've rewatched it. Like I've never rewatched anything else before, and I've seen the seasons like 2 or 3 times each. Um, it's just a really good contained story.
I don't know anything about that other than that one guy plays a priest and everyone thinks he's hot.
Yeah, Hot
So,
Priest.
I mean, that alone would get me to watch it.
Hot priest.
I mean,
Shit.
everyone thinks he's hot, but also the ongoing joke, he doesn't have a name. His name is Hot Priest. Like in all the credits, he's Hot Priest.
Oh, I
What?
got, I
Is it?
Yeah.
got.
Isn't he a main character?
Yeah.
He
That's
he
kind of
doesn't
the
have a
point though.
name.
No, the main character
Oh.
doesn't have a name either. No one ever calls her by her name, and she always refers to herself as Fleabag. Her character doesn't have a name either. So that's kind of the point,
Oh.
is like, I think it's just the two of them. I think her family members are all named and everything, but those two aren't named.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Just good. Highly recommend it. It is the first season, big bummer. If you do have a desire to ever watch it, first season, really depressing. But I promise second season, a lot more uplifting. And if you don't want to watch the first season, you can usually get enough information from the here's what happened last time in the beginning of season 2. It'll give you a recap of stuff.
So
That's
I
fine.
I was just looking up I was looking up images and like this is the photo. This is like one of the first photos that came up of the priest. And I guess it was just it just like I don't know. This one makes him look a little creepy. So
Scary.
I was just kind of laughing because I was just thinking like this hot priest.
Priest.
That's more of a scary priest.
He's a bit of a mess. He's mostly just an alcoholic. Andrew Scott's so good though. He was also the first time I ever saw him, he's Moriarty in the like BBC
Mm,
Sherlock.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever
Mm.
watched that way back in the day when it was like super popular.
Oh yeah.
Um, but he's gone on to do a couple different things, and he's just like I feel like he's very talented.
He seems really charismatic every time I've seen him talk. I'm like, man, I like him. And I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I've probably only seen him in that Sherlock show.
I'm watching like my third K drama ever.
Ooh, which one is it?
It's called Bloodhounds. It's about
Oh.
these two boxers that turn into well they're like kind of hold on. They're kind of it's kind of hard to explain, but they like kind of go into the world of um like loan sharks and stuff and dealing with loan sharks and the shady businesses and stuff and that kind of thing. But I don't know. It's like 8 episodes and I'm about to start the fifth one and it's pretty solid so far. But like I don't know, these K dramas I'm like sucked in. Like I I normally like American dramas, I don't know, they're kind of just there. But like K dramas for some reason I'm just like, oh my god. Like I watched the shit out of them. The other ones I've seen is like, like Squid Game, but then also one called The Glory. I think I might have mentioned it to you guys before, but it's that's like a revenge story and like revenge I I feel like I've never really seen many revenge stories that I haven't been sucked into. I can't tell you. Like I'm just like so into it. And also like Korean people are so ridiculously attractive. Like everyone, all of them. My god. I'm just like holy shit. I've never show me an ugly Korean person. I've never seen one. What the hell?
Yeah, I actually finished The Glory over break. I think I started it, but those hour-long K-drama episodes are so hard to like commit to. But I
Yeah.
finished it over break because I had so much time. It was very good. It was very, like you said, it's revenge though, so it's pretty dark. Like the other
Mhm.
K-dramas I've watched are like romance, and so they're like kind of stupid and like funny and cute, and this one was like mostly just sad.
Yeah.
But it was very good. I like that.
I haven't seen a romance one yet, but like I keep seeing a whole lot of them. So I'm just I don't know, like I don't know if I kind of like scared, but like I don't know. We'll see. But this one's like an action one though. Bloodhounds is that one's action, but it's pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. I am this is also really also very random, but it's like one of the things that's been on my mind lately. Um I just I think I made a mistake, but I wasn't planning on getting sucked into a video game lately, but I restarted Tears of the Kingdom and it's just like
Hmm.
just not it's just I am so like lost in the sauce. God, like I love open world games and I should know this by now just because I've played so many, but like I restarted it like 3 days ago and I just not haven't really done very much other than play that game. And it's just like so much easier since it's on the Switch. Since I'll like bring the Switch with me while I'm like in the kitchen cooking dinner or something. And I'll just be like, oh, okay, look at that. Got another Korok seed. Okay. Stir the pasta. And yeah, I'm kind of lost in that now.
Switch games are the best like that. And Tears of the Kingdom. Wait, so is that that's the second one again?
Yeah, that's the second one. I
Okay, yeah.
fell off of it because I think I was a little more excited about it because I was thinking that it was going to be a lot. I don't know. I mean, I saw it was going to be taking place basically in the same Hyrule as Breath of the Wild, but like I didn't know it was. I think that it's pretty much just a gigantic DLC for Breath of the Wild. That's my
Mm.
take on it. When people are like, "Oh yeah, it's a great separate Zelda game," I'm like, "Nah, it's not this. It's not separate. It's an add-on, man.
Mhm.
Um, it's like hundreds of hours of add-on DLC. It's but so I think that's why I fell off initially because I was like, oh yeah, I was expecting something new, but then I got into it and I was just like, yeah, no, this is pretty much DLC, and I think that's the main reason why I fell off. But then when I was like picking it back up again a few days ago, the Switch will tell you like, oh, this is how many hours you spent on this game. Apparently I had like 120 plus hours on it. I was like, since when? I didn't do shit in this game. I must have just got lost in the sauce when I started originally, because all I was probably fucking doing is finding Korok seeds and like exploring caves and just talking to people and shit and running around. That Yeah, I mean that's just Breath of the Wild.
Adds up. I still have not played the second one, but I'm holding to tradition. We got Breath of the Wild. Ben played it when it came out, and then I didn't play it for like 2 years. I literally played it like shortly before Tears of the Kingdom came out. Um, and then Ben played Tears of the Kingdom when that one came out, and now I'm kind of like waiting to forget a lot of the like beats of it so that then I can play it again. But what we have been doing is Ben started playing. He randomly got watching this YouTuber who was playing Hades,
Mm.
Mm.
and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just really interested in like the lore and like learning more about the story." He's like, "But I don't know if I want to play it." I was like, "I have it because I've put like I don't even know how many hours. I've played a lot of that game." I was like, "I've got it. We could just boot up a new save and you can play." He was like, "I don't know, I don't know." So we booted it up and then we were like taking turns playing runs. But I was actually starting to burn out on it again because I in the past have played so much that I was like, I can do a run every once in a while, but like I've kind of settled into what I like and I don't really feel the need to run through the same plot lines. And he's taken off with it. Like he got further than I ever got. He has finished the entire like primary storyline. We're doing some post game stuff now. Uh, and he cares way more about like the character stuff than I ever did. So he's like giving everyone gifts and he romancing everybody, and uh so it's been fun to have like the roles change, because at first like I beat the game on his like second run. So he's been like his dialogue options have been super weird because he's getting some what definitely should have gotten like several runs ago commentary from certain characters, but he's like everything's done, all of the things are over, people shouldn't hate him anymore kind of stuff. But it's been pretty fun to see him like actually complete a lot of the other things, because now I'm seeing stuff that I've never seen. But we've been waffling because I know Hades 2 is technically out, but I've been kind of waiting until it's in alpha. I don't know how much I want to play it while it's still in beta.
Mm.
Yeah. I know Tony played a lot of it once it was released in early access, and I think he's just waiting now for it to be released fully. But I know some people are out there just waiting for it, waiting for that full release anyways, because they're just like, I just want to delve into it. I don't want to wait for
Yeah,
any updates, you know.
that's kind of well, that's where I was at before he started playing it. Now he's playing it. I'm like, well, we could just get it and we could just play it, but I'll be really bummed if we hit some kind of a wall where stuff hasn't been released or something. So I think we're gonna wait. But he started beating runs. I think I beat the highest so far. We had a 5 heat run, which just made it pretty difficult. So I think I've got the highest for that. But he's beaten the game like 30 times now.
Hmm.
You been sucked into anything lately, Riles?
Not really, just playing. I mean, I'm playing Infinity Nikki, which I don't know if I've said on here. I grew up with so many um, dress up games. I grew up playing dress up games like all the time, and they basically just made like a 3D open world dress up game where you can just collect clothes and walk around, and it's like the best thing I've ever seen in my life. But it's one of those games where you just kind of like log on every day and like do a few things and log off. So I'm probably watching more videos about Infinity Nikki than playing it. And then I've been playing Rivals, Marvel Rivals, because Tino and me will can play it together. And it's like Overwatch, and that's what we like pretty quickly after we started dating. Overwatch came out, we both played it, and we played that for like years as just like the thing that we would like hop on and play together. And so it feels pretty natural. But yeah, no like big story games haven't been into lately, or like new games.
Well, the only other thing I had was before I came up here to start recording, Tony was like, "Hey, go ask Hannah if she liked that burger recipe I sent her." I don't know what he's talking
Oh god.
about because he was like, "I think I sent it to you too," and I was like, "I don't recall any burger recipe." So that was that was the only other thing I had left for today
Oh
because I'm
Jesus.
sure that it's gonna be either gross or whatever.
Oh no, I did. I responded to it. I gave it a middle finger emoji.
Oh, what was in this
It's
burger recipe?
it's not a
Quote.
recipe. It's a very upsetting. Oh god. It's awful and you'll hate it, but I'll send you the reel. Um in classic Tony fashion, it's like body horror, unsettling. I hated it. It's one of the worst things he sent me.
Oh, okay. You know, he probably did send this to me too, but I I blacked it out of my memory. Um, yeah, it is upsetting. It's just for the listeners, it's just like well, it's titled "Breathing Burger." Well, no, not titled, but that's hashtags: hashtag breathing, hashtag burger, hashtag cursed. Yeah, it looks cursed. It does look
Yeah,
cursed.
that's correct.
Is it AI or is it a prop?
I think it's got to be AI. What's the vibe of it?
Yeah, because it doesn't look like it goes anywhere when it moves the top.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm
I mean, it's
gonna need
gross,
to send
but
that to you instead then.
AI is interesting the way it like looks right, but it also looks wrong. It's wild.
Ugh. I'm gonna
Burger.
block him again if I need to. For a
Hey, you
while
gotta
we
do
were
what you
just
gotta do.
then I will. I've done it before. For a while it was fine. He was sending me reels and making jokes about the stuff that you guys would do for your wedding. And that was okay. But now he's going back to the cursed content and I don't like it. Tony, if you're listening, fuck off.
Yeah, I saw a cringe video the other day that made me think of how you were saying he always sends the cringe ones. I think I do think they're kind of funny.
I don't like them occasionally. It's like it's always the bit where we'll go through a phase of like everything will be fine. It'll just be like jokes or something, and then it'll be mixed in with everything else. It's like, what is this? And it's just the most disgusting or horrific thing I've seen in weeks.
Like you're laughing through all of them, and then there's that one that he just try to slide in there, and you're like, oh, fucking Tony, okay. Like I thought we were having a good time.
Or he'll send me enough of something that it messes up my algorithm.
Oh
He did that. He did that for a while. That one
Dang.
pissed.
yeah.
That's when I think I blocked him the first time. Because he kept sending me that Laszlo guy, that like cringe
Mm,
content creator.
the
And
fedora man.
yeah, the fedora like
Yeah.
katana dude.
Yeah.
And he sent me enough of them that I started getting them in my like for you page, and I was like, this motherfucker. So I think that might have been the first time I blocked him.
The effect was strong.
Oh, pissed me off. Well, because I didn't really, I wouldn't think about it because I send memes like back and forth with some other people, and you just don't even look. You open up the chat, you click on the first thing, it's like, oh god damn it! Now I've interacted with it, and it's gonna think I want to see that. Ugh.
All right, guys. Well, I think we have hit time. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap?
Nope.
I think so.
Alrighty, until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.